The Crown 4's Road to the Championship special. This is Aaron Wilson. I'm Jason Dumas, and this is our special guest, Alan Stiles. You may remember he was with us for the entire Giants postseason run a couple years ago when they won 107 games. He's also a colleague of mine at 95.7 The Game. You can hear him on the airwaves. Before we get started, I got to say, they brought out the nice studio for you, Alan.
Well, I came in, and you said we're sitting. I didn't know how to sit, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Man, I've been here 5 years. I've never sat on this set. It's a welcomed addition, especially with you in here. Let's get to this game now. The darling of the NFL over the past 8 weeks has been Brock Purdy.
Yep.
You grew up in the Bay Area. You've seen some of the sagas that this franchise has gone through on the quarterback front. Colin Kaepernick, Alex Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo, then Trey Lance, and then all of a sudden, Brock Purdy comes. I'm sorry. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, and I don't think the NFL has seen anything like this. Rookies aren't supposed to do this. Rookies aren't supposed to just show up and be Mr. Irrelevant and be the last pick in the draft and come in and behave like he's just used to it, like he should be here. And I think that's the most important thing that I've noticed with Brock Purdy. When he has been excelling, the way he reacts, he's excited, but he's not surprised. He's not surprised at how he's playing. He's not surprised at how he's performing. And now he's going into Philadelphia, and we know, Jason, how hostile that environment is going to be. Is the clock going to strike midnight for Cinderella, Brock Purdy? I don't know. He's passed every test so far, but this is the biggest one yet.
And see, there's a line, actually. I'm going to reference Drake for a second. He says, the girl that's poised when everyone is making a lot of noise, and that's what he has shown.
Oh, man, we got some Drake lyrics on here, a lot of melanin. I'm loving it.
Yes. Poise is one thing that Purdy has been, and poise is one thing he's going to have to remain to be in order to be a great asset in this NFC Championship game. But with that, you want to talk about what they need to do in order to solidify that game plan, which is getting off to a great start. What does he have to do? What do they have to do as a team to make sure they ensure that great start in this matchup?
Yeah, well, I definitely think that you got to keep Brock Purdy clean. You have to keep him clean in the pocket. We're talking about a pass rush for the Philadelphia Eagles with 4 defensive linemen that have over 10 sacks. That's historic. You've never heard of that. So you have to keep Brock Purdy clean, and the way you do that is by running the football. Good thing is, Kyle Shanahan loves to run the football. He always runs the football. You got Christian McCaffrey, you got Elijah Mitchell. So if you can do that and hold off that pass rush, I think that's huge. And I personally, I know you got to run the football, but I say you take some shots. Yeah. Everybody, all the Philly fans are going to be hyped. They're going to be, okay, they're going to run the football. They're going to try to do this, try to do that. If you come out and take a shot down the field and you hit on that, you set the tone.
Yeah, it would be in the Niners' favor to shut up that Philly crowd early, and it's also next level. That defensive line, 70 sacks this year, led the NFL by a long shot. Like you said, historic stuff. Now, Alan, we've talked about matchups all week long ad nauseum. What is that one matchup that concerns you the most for the 49ers?
Yeah, well, it would have to be the secondary, and specifically A.J. Brown with Mooney Ward, Charvarius Ward. And Charvarius Ward's been playing great, but A.J. Brown, he's a beast. I think I'm worried about that, but to be honest, that's the highlighted matchup. But the other matchup, and the reason this Eagles offense is so potent, is because their number 2 is really a number 1 in Devontae Smith, who, if you remember, won a Heisman. So that's their number 2 going up against Diamonor Lenore. That's going to change some things. So not only does Jalen Hurts have the beast that is A.J. Brown, he also has a number 2 in Devontae Smith, which would be a number 1 on a lot of different teams. So those 2 matchups are the ones that I'm looking at the most. If they can shut those guys down, it'll be good for the Niners, but it's been tough for anybody to shut them down all season long.
Yeah, now there are some weapons, like you just mentioned, on the Eagles side. There's some weapons on, obviously, the Niners side as well. How do the fans feel about this one? Do they feel like the arsenal on this side of the Niners is better than the armor that they have with the Eagles, or are they leaning, are they a little, lacking or lackluster when it comes to confidence?
Well, I'll tell you this much. The Niner fans, from what we've heard on calls on 95.7 The Game, first of all, they feel disrespected. They feel disrespected by the national media. Everybody's talking about, the Eagles and how they're this well-oiled machine, when in reality, the Niners, their winning streak is longer than the Eagles. The Niners haven't lost a game since October. So the Niners, they feel disrespected. Jason, I don't know how you feel about this. You got Niner fans out there putting a Niner jersey, a Niner shirt on
Rocky.
I almost said Brocky Balboa because that's what they've been calling him now. So I think they feel disrespected. I think they feel that they can come in and surprise some people. I mean, originally when we knew this matchup was going to happen, we sat there and thought, okay, it's a heavyweight matchup. This is going to be great. And all of a sudden, I do want to say, when it comes to who played who, yes, the Eagles looked more dominant against the Giants. The Niners played a better team. And we can make all the Dak jokes and Cowboy jokes we want, but the Niners played a better team. So you got to remember that. I think it's more even than what people think. I think it's going to be a close matchup. If you bet, take the under, and we'll see what happens.
All right, you kind of walked me into my last question. I know we don't have much time, but if you can give us a pick, who is it going to be? Now, just for some context, Allen played college baseball in Philadelphia.
I did.
His wedding was in Philadelphia,
Yes.
so he has a lot of Philly blood in him, too. Who are you picking to win that game on Sunday?
I've given this a lot of thought, and I've been calling it Cioppino versus cheesesteaks. That's what I've named this game. I'm going Cioppino 28, cheesesteaks 24. I'm going with the Niners.
Wow, Niners by 4. Hey, it's going to be a close one. That's what most people think. Allen, thank you so much for joining us, brother. It's always a pleasure to get you here in the studio.
Thank you.
All righty, man. We've heard from